Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Sol. Sol is from North Carolina in the USA. So let's see what Sol has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Sol, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
Pretty good. I had school this morning and I got back home and have been kind of cleaning up. I've been out of town the past couple days, so it's been kind of nice to have a little bit of a chill time before I have to go start doing stuff this evening.
What are you studying right now?
I'm in school for my aesthetics license, so skincare and makeup.
Oh wow. So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about your course. Tell me a little bit about the journey so far.
Well, so I am in a year-long program, and I have been doing, it's kind of like been a roundabout way of getting here. This time last year, I was working as a nonprofit worker for an HIV, education, nonprofit, and I decided I kind of like wanted to do something else. And I have a lot of different experiences. I was a professor of dance for a little while, a professional dancer for quite a number of years. I perform in drag as my main profession now. And so I've kind of done a whole bunch of stuff. And this just kind of I've always been interested in skincare and doing a lot of kind of help with my friends. I was kind of the skincare friend. And so I am starting to get a little bit more involved in that and kind of studying and hopefully going into hormonal skincare specifically for trans individuals and for people who are aging. So puberty and sorry, this is my cat. um,
Tell me. I'm
uh,
gonna
this
like
is
to see that.
this is Apollo. He's my little boy.
Hello,
Uh,
Paulo.
so yeah,
Oh,
that's kind of generally how I ended up there.
I see. And where are you from?
I live in Asheville, North Carolina right now.
Amazing. So
Yeah,
tell me
I've
what.
been there I've been here 10 years now officially.
And before, where are you from before originally?
I was born in a tiny town I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, and lived in a smaller town until I was 16. And
Hmm.
my parents moved us from Indiana to Winston-Salem, which is another town in North Carolina. And I ended up coming to Asheville for school, and then I never left.
Amazing. And you're planning to stay there for a long while?
For now, Asheville is kind of a transient town. We have a lot of tourists and a lot of kind of people coming and going. And I am right now, I'm happy here, and there's no real reason to leave just yet. So I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon.
Amazing. Okay, so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Yeah.
So before I start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or something that not many people know about you.
Oh, wow. Something that not many people know about me. Uh, I tell a lot of people a lot of things. I'm really into plants. So yeah, I think I have it's one of the only collections that I really have. And so I have about probably about 40 houseplants right now. Um yeah, there's a lot going on. Um so yeah, I think that's a fun fact about me.
Uh, Which one is the, if you can, if you remember, which one is the very first one you ever had and the latest one that's, being brought to you?
So my first one was an orchid, actually. An ex-partner of mine gave me an orchid for Valentine's Day, and
Oh,
it ended up living and not dying. And so from there, I just ended up exploding. And I think my most recent one is a fern that my mom got me. And other ones I've been like piecing off and making smaller and kind of propagating. But yeah, I think the fern is probably my most recent one.
amazing. Very good. So, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of
Yeah,
views?
sure.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So, I've got here my best friend. Of random fun questions, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to relax a bit before the first question. All right?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right. So before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change. Okay.
Okay.
First question for you is, what makes you the happiest?
Ooh. Um, I I'm a performer. And I've been performing for a long time now. And so
Mhm.
what makes me happiest is not only getting to experience performance and doing things that I love, but also getting to witness other people. Like when they really like hit that flow state of performing, I love getting to see people like truly in their element. You can tell that they love doing what they're doing, and I just get to sit back and witness it.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about your career as a performer so far.
So I was a dancer for a long time. And from that, I started doing drag. And I've been doing drag for about almost 7 or 8 years now, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and I started doing it. I'm a little cocky. I started doing it when I was in school in college because I saw people doing it. We hosted like a drag performance, and I decided that I could do that just as well, and so I just started doing drag. And I realized it was a lot harder than it looked. But now I'm the first bearded entertainer. So normally, like I perform either with a mustache or a beard in drag, and I'm the first bearded entertainer on the East Coast to hold a Pride title. And
Wow.
I run the drag for Blue Ridge Pride, so I book people, I incorporate it into the community, and I've performed at every university in the Western North Carolina region, and I run a couple shows in town, and I'm very happy with it. So
Amazing. How long
yeah,
does it take for you to get ready for a concert, for a show?
usually about 2 hours.
Wow.
Usually about two. That's if I'm taking my time.
I see. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, what is the biggest risk have you ever taken?
Probably this one, actually going to school for aesthetics. In May, probably like last May, I was coming out of a lot of like a couple really messy relationships, and
Mhm.
I was not happy at my job, and so I moved out of my ex's house. I quit my job
Wow.
and was performing full time while I started school, and so the end of 2023 was really, really rough because I kind of like was creating a new support system for myself. Um, and in that time, I got fired from one of the jobs that I had that I was really excited about. I totaled
Wow.
my car, and so I was just performing and had to scrounge around to find another way of transportation because public transit where I am is not great. And so it was a risk, but I'm better for it. I'm really happy about taking that step to live alone for the first time and rely completely on my art to sustain myself. And it was tough. It was really tough for a little while, but I've been having a really good time.
And when you look back on this challenge journey from last year
Mhm.
that you were facing at the time,
Yeah.
what's the biggest positive outcome that brought you from this challenge time, if you can tell?
I think self-reliance would be
Mhm.
my biggest one because I realized part of the reason why my last couple relationships didn't really end out very well. I had a lot of codependent tendencies, and
Okay.
I kind of had a huge amount of self-doubt about whether or not I could truly be by myself or do something by myself and rely and totally on myself. And so that was learning that kind of self-reliance and that I have me better than anybody else can has been a really, really good lesson for me.
It's so interesting how those child moments that you don't it's quite challenging, you don't know what to do, everything
Hmm.
is down, is lost, and suddenly the outcome, it's something that make us feel the greatest somehow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Next question, let's do it. Right. So before the next question, actually, when I was checking your profile, there was a phrase there that got my attention. I'd like to read for you, and you can tell me about. It says there,
Yeah.
it says there, just a non-binary goblin loving in a binary fey world.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So, I am non-binary trans. I use they them pronouns. And I call myself a goblin a lot, and it kind of it's a little bit of a joke with and amongst my friends where if we have moments where it's just kind of like you're a little bit like trash goblin-y, you're not really like um you're more of like a creature than a human sometimes. And so I definitely feel like the parts of myself that developed into non-binariness kind of is the othering factor of how I interact with society. And so
Mhm.
it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek way of being like, I exist as this flesh creature who has my own experiences, and I'm kind of like forced to conform in certain ways, but I deep down have my own set of rules with how I interact with things.
People watch this interview right now who would you like to understand a little bit more about non-binary. What
Mhm.
would be your definition about it?
So a lot of people transness is a huge umbrella. And so
Mhm.
a lot of individuals identify as binary trans, and that means that they identify as the opposite gender that they were assigned at birth. Whereas I am non-binary trans, and so I just don't identify with the gender I was assigned at birth. It's not that I don't identify as, having masculine qualities. I just don't identify entirely with the masculine. I am not actively medically transitioning into, female presenting, but I also I'm not female presenting. I'm also not male presenting. And so I exist in this fun little extra space on the gender spectrum where I kind of am just floating somewhere in the middle. And sometimes I present more masculine, sometimes I present more feminine. I just kind of like my gender is me, and I am outside of what is can generally considered as like gender. And so that's kind of how I understand it. No, that's kind of like, very conceptual, whatever. But essentially, I'm just not gender. That's kind of where I am.
Thanks for the information.
Yeah.
And I mean that because people, they have their own way of representing themselves. They put
Mhm.
themselves in a category, but somehow they have a different way or of express themselves. And
Mhm.
it's good to hear someone explain that way, because some people, they might be the same way as you, like present themselves the same way as you are. So yeah.
Mhm.
Next question is, what's the biggest prize you ever won?
Ooh, biggest prize. Um,
Could be sentimental as well. It doesn't need to be material.
yeah. Uh, One of the things that I've won that I was most proud of, when I was in a performance group called Aria Winter Guard, which is like a marching band adjacent performance structure. And the group that I was in a show that I was really super proud of, and the team was really cohesive, and we all loved each other so much. We traveled all over the place to perform and compete. And that year, we ended up going all the way to World Championships and placed in the top 10. Um,
Wow.
And that like really encapsulates one of my proudest moments in performance.
Mhm.
I think that is definitely one of them. That or my Miss Blue Ridge Pride crown. I was really really proud of that as the one of the first gender uh the first kind of non-binary presenting characters in my area to win something like that and become like a recognized leader in the community.
Amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, so next question is, do you have any pet peeves?
Oh, so many. Oh, so many. Um, I think, oh, it's hard. Yeah, I have quite a few pet peeves. Um, I really hate it when people like shit talk themselves. Um, so like when people are really like self-deprecating, I really it's like one of my biggest pet peeves because I want you to talk about you like your friends would, you know? I want
Right.
you to feel like the good, the confident, the happy. And it just always it makes me so upset when people are like mean to themselves. And I know that's like, you know, a lot of mental health stuff is wrapped up in that as well. But like I anytime I hear like one of my friends being self-deprecating or something, I'm like, why would you talk about my friend like that? Don't do that. Um, and other than that, socks. I hate socks. Um, I hate them. I hate it so much. I would rather be barefoot 24/7 if I could, but I
Wow.
hate socks.
Oh my God, that's so interesting. I think you're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you right now.
Uh-oh.
I, you know what? I'm from Brazil and I'm living in
Mhm.
England right now, and it's cold most of the time, and I have a socks on most of the time when I'm sleeping.
Yep. I can't. I am so bad about like uh I'll be sitting on the couch or something and I'll have socks on and I just will not be paying attention to myself and I will like take them off and just like accidentally stuff them in certain parts of like the couch cushions or something. And if I have them on to sleep because it's cold, because I live in the mountains of North Carolina, like it gets cold
Right,
here. And
right.
like always like socks end up off. It's this like I take my shoes off when I get in the door and then immediately take my socks off because I know I'm just
Wow,
gonna leave them somewhere.
I love it. You always have that pet peeve or something that just turn around and made you have this conception about socks.
I've always had the thing about socks. I have always been barefoot. Growing up, I lived in like the middle of nowhere really. And so like we were barefoot running around the
Wow.
backyard, the fields, like the woods, like we were barefoot all the time. And so I've always like been so much happier not wearing shoes and socks.
I love that. It's funny. Ready for another one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next question. For the next question, tell me a little bit about your tattoo you have here in your chest. I can see it
I
apart.
do. That's my little bat boy.
Wow. Tell me about it. Tell me the story behind.
So I went through a really kind of like messy divorce a few years ago. It was really, really upsetting and I was very heartbroken about it. And so I just kind of like on a whim, it was kind of a little bit of a manic decision, but I decided I wanted something to cover up my heart and like protect me a little bit. And
Wow.
I love bats. I've always loved bats. Instead of a teddy bear when I was little, I used to sleep with like a glow in the dark rubber bat Halloween decoration. Um,
Wow.
I've always loved them. And so I decided to get this little galaxy bat and one of my really, really good friends who's a tattoo artist and he's done all my tattoos. Um, he did this for me and it's my favorite thing.
Do you feel that this special bat has protected you since you got it?
Yeah, I think so. It lays over my heart and you know, it protects me a little bit. It also looks really good. So,
I love it. Actually, spot straight away when I thought like I need to ask him about that.
yeah.
Amazing. Right. Next question is, what makes you laugh out loud?
What makes me laugh out loud? Um, I love like stupid TikTok videos. Um,
Uh-huh.
those make me laugh a lot. And I've recently started dating a comedian. And so he makes me laugh a lot. Um, was one of the reasons
Amazing.
why I was out of town. I was helping taking him to one of his like first big shows. Um, so yeah, I think like I don't know. I have so many things that I find joy in that there's a lot that makes me laugh.
Tell me, how is being gay or trans or
Mhm.
non-binary around the area you live right now? Do you feel yourself you can be your truly self, you can express the way you
Mhm.
are, or can be a bit challenging?
So it's kind of a mixed bag. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, which is a very, very liberal pocket of North Carolina. A lot of the major cities in North Carolina are very liberal and very accepting and very safe. There are definitely some issues, going outside of town, it can be a little difficult. And a lot of times there are protests at stuff that we're participating in, a lot of um, not very welcoming people around, but on the whole, I recognize that like I am still male presenting, I'm white, I have a lot of privilege inherently, but on the whole, I have found a lot more love and acceptance moving to the southern United States. When I was living in Indiana, which is a Republican and a more conservative area anyway, I was in a lot more danger growing up than I
Wow.
ever have been since moving to North Carolina. Um, and there's a lot of stigma in the United States around the South and how it's like not safe in the southern states. And that is very true in some places, but there are also an immensely tight-knit, powerfully connected queer community in the southern United States. And it is truly amazing getting to be here. There are some towns farther west in the like deeper in the mountains that we have started doing drag shows in, and it like it's so beautiful to see because people from there's like so it's Asheville, and then there's Silva and Cullowhee, and then even farther out there are more counties towards Tennessee that have pretty much nothing there. Like there's very small towns, but nothing really like major. And people will come from those farther counties to Silva just to see the drag shows. And so you
Wow.
have this interconnected community of like mountain queers who all come in to see the show and to be connected with each other. And it is such a beautiful experience because it's like we're one big family. And so,
Wow.
we stick up for each other, and we really do have a very tight-knit community all throughout the South.
My God, I love that.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing for you to feel the energy, around people that you are doing your show, performing at the same time as well.
Mhm.
You see people appreciate and connect with you as well. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. 3 questions left. Let's do it.
Cool.
Did you always had long hair?
I've been growing it out for like 4 years now.
I see.
Um, yeah, and so it's gotten I've had it for a long time now.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
Oh, I think love me, honestly. I'm very fortunate to have an amazing nuclear family who have supported me through everything. They've even come to my shows before, my drag shows,
Wow.
and yeah, they're truly one of a kind. And so I think that's yeah, I know it's kind of like a corny answer, but my
No.
mom, my dad, my little brother, like the best thing they've ever given me is their love and attention. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's say now that your little brother and your mom they are
Mhm.
watching this interview right now, and you have
Yeah.
the opportunity to send them a message to say something to them. What would you say right now?
I'd say hi, and I literally I talked to them this morning. Yeah, I'd say that I love them and that I'm, glad that they're happy doing what they're doing and that I miss them and I'll see them on Easter. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I got goosebumps now. My God, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have a really supportive family.
Two questions left. Let's do it.
All right.
Before the next question, tell me how dance, your career, it came into your life. When we realized that you're born to be a dancer.
Um, I always loved moving. I was in gymnastics really young. I was playing sports. I've always been doing something.
Uh,
And I really wanted to be in dance when I was younger, but I was bullied a lot for just being in gymnastics, let alone like considering dance. And where I grew up, there wasn't a lot of like boys dancing. And so when I got to high school, I joined marching band and I was in the color guard and which is like the flags and stuff. And I loved dancing there. And I ended up taking or I was in theater and did musicals and was like dance captain for that. And then when I got to college, I started taking more dance classes and just truly fell in love with it. And it's honestly dance and a lot of the experiences I've had being a professional performer and dancer. I was in multiple companies throughout my early to mid 20s. Um, and it's kind of changed how I communicate and it's changed how I read other people. And so I'm very in tune with the physicality and how other people are physically presenting to me. And so like I do a lot of performance analysis for my friends and like for people who are speaking. Um, and I have found a lot of comfort and joy in my body as it exists. And I like to help teach other people dance techniques, even if it's just to like help people stand better so they don't hurt themselves. Um, I truly like dance changed how I interact with the world, and I think that's one of the biggest thing that I've learned in my entire life is just how to be in my body, and so I truly do like super over the moon with how that has changed how I interact with the world and other people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Next question is, where is the most exotic place have you ever been?
Exotic. Um, The farthest away from home I've ever been, my ex-husband and I took our honeymoon in Venice and Spain,
Wow.
and we went to Venice and Madrid,
Wow.
um, and that was a lot of fun. But I think the most like I don't know, the most exotic I've ever been. There, an ex and I ended up camping in the Ozarks for a week or two, and we ended up getting out to like some of the most remote, beautiful places. To the point where like we were kayaking like on a crystal clear river and we didn't see people for hours. And so it was
Wow.
just us and like this beautiful crystal clear water with like the most intense greenery around us. And I think that felt like we had stepped into a different world, even though it was only a few hours from home.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ready for the last question?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. Right, but before the last question, through the interview, I can feel how much you enjoy performing, how much you
Mhm.
enjoy being on stage, connect with people, expressing your best self. Tell me, people watching this interview right now, people who maybe would like to come to your show. Tell me something
Yeah.
unique or different, something that's for you stands out compared with other performers around, the US or around the world. Tell me something unique about your show that people always comment or you feel connected with. Tell me about something.
I I'm fortunate to have a lot of friends who give me feedback on my performances. And one thing that no matter what I'm doing, like if it's a funny number, a sexy number, or just like an entertaining dance number, they've always said, and I've been thankful for this feedback, they've always said that I command a stage no matter what I'm doing.
Wow.
They say that no matter like if I'm just walking or standing or anything, people can't take their eyes off me. And that like the biggest compliment I've ever gotten from performing is just the fact that people said that they know as soon as I walk on stage that I am confidently there, and it's very hard for them to stop watching. And I think that is the biggest compliment. And I definitely like even on my hard days, the days that like I don't feel super great about the performance, or I feel uneasy about something,
Yeah.
I've always been given the feedback that you couldn't tell that you didn't feel like bad about it. You felt you really do suck the audience in no matter what you're doing. And so I think that's what's what helps me stand out from other performers a lot of the time.
Do you bring out some of your techniques as when you're doing the oh my God, when you're as a child, you're doing some gymnastic. Do you bring
Mhm.
some of the techniques or the moves, something from there
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah. In town, I'm known for climbing on top of things I probably shouldn't be, and jumping off of things and doing a lot of little crazy acrobatics.
I knew there was something connected with that. I knew
Yeah.
it. Last question is, if you could make up, yeah, a brand new school subject, something new, what that would be?
Oh, like something to be taught in like schools?
School, like early, yeah, early school.
Ooh. So I live in America, and we don't have a lot of comprehensive sex education.
Okay.
Um, and a lot of my college degree is in gender and sexuality studies. And so I also do a lot of sex education for
Okay.
various places. And so I
Mhm.
think I would love more age appropriate comprehensive sex education for kids, because there are too many people who don't understand sexual health just as a basic part of their own body, let alone how their bodies interact with other people, but like their sexual health, their sexual identities. I wish there were more conversations around consent, the biology of the human anatomy. I wish there was a lot more of a basic understanding of our bodies and how they interact with the world and other people.
I love you mentioned that. I think something very powerful, and I think
Yeah.
that would change a lot of things, and people would be more understanding, more open, and less
Yeah.
judgmental about anything regarding sex, for sure.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words, just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. So
Okay.
let's start with politics.
Oh, tricky.
Love.
Hard.
Be sometimes. Money.
Not enough.
Family.
Warm.
Life.
Hard.
Sex.
Great.
I thought you say hard.
Hard.
Religion.
Oh, oof. Yeah.
Okay.
Rough.
Fear.
Powerful.
Friendship.
Needed.
Desire.
Easy.
Regret.
Nah.
Success.
Work.
One word for wish.
Ooh. Uh, aspire. I know it's just a synonym, but aspire.
Okay. One word for happiness.
Dance.
Oh, of course. One word for North Carolina.
Home.
One word for USA.
Scary.
One word for drag perform or performing. One word.
Passion.
And the last one now. Bath. One word.
Bath.
Yeah, but the one you have in your chest.
Oh, bat. Oh gosh, protection.
Amazing. Let's
Yeah.
pretend now I'm going to meet your partner, yeah, that you're
Hmm.
dating right now. And I'm going to ask him, define soul in one positive word and one negative word only. What he would say.
Oh, that's a good question. We literally just started dating like not even a month ago. I think when positive he would say confident, and
Okay?
I think when negative he might say would be outspoken.
Wow. And if I would ask the same question to your mom, would be the same answer?
She would say that I'm passionate,
Okay?
and I think one negative that she would say is that I don't take care of myself.
Interesting. Okay. Let's play now. So in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Hey, you can ask me a question now.
What is your favorite thing that you've because you've done a lot of these, right? Like you've done a lot of these interviews. What is
Yes.
like the overarching favorite thing that you have discovered after doing these things?
Wow, what a great question. Yes, it's been on the show more than 1,200 people easily here.
Yeah.
My God. Wow. Okay, I think the greatest thing about it, I was talking, literally talking to this friend of mine who I came here for the interview, and I was telling her, you know, how I grew up and how I've been educated about so many topics that first I never heard before. Some of them it's something that for me was a taboo. Some of them was something that I never thought about. And listen to people like you talking. I was so here connecting the words you're saying right now. So because for me, you have no idea the person 3 years ago when I started doing the show to the place where I am right now. You have
Hmm.
no idea. I became more understanding. I became more open-minded. I became more educated about so many different topics that you have no idea. I remember the first time when I heard the word polyamorous, it was here on the show. And I
Hmm.
remember the lovely man, when he said that, I was so confused. You could see by my face that I was confused because he said that he had his husband was in another city in Georgia, and his boyfriend was living in China. And I was like, "Am I under?" I was a bit confused, and suddenly he could see that I was confused about it, and he explained. And I have so many people on the show that have different kind of relationships, yeah, that embrace a lot of differences. And and when I was asking about non-binary as well, because
Hmm.
I can picture myself in different people watching this interview right now, and people appreciate so much when someone somehow educate or say something that they don't understand. And I'll tell you, I could tell so many situations, but back to your question, I would tell you that in the end of the day, connect with people. For me, it's about something. For me, it's about make me a better person in so many
Hmm.
different ways. So for me, I feel grateful and so thankful for people, for everyone who comes to the show, because for me, it's about not just helping me, but helping a lot of people around the world as well. So yeah, that's the one of the most enjoyable parts of the show.
That's
It's
awesome.
about open people's minds somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's great
Yeah.
to see some, as you said about this new a new brand school subject. Imagine, my God, introducing that to young age people
Hmm.
growing up and having this information. Oh my God, we've been a
Yeah.
different place right now. So yeah, that's the one of the most enjoyable part of the show. It's about open people's minds for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, this has been great.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time for the interview and thanks
Yeah.
for being so sweet. But before you go, so if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Ooh. Be aggressively yourself.
I like that. I like that. Let me say goodbye to your beautiful cat if he's around.
Yeah, he's right here.
Bye bye. Oh, I love when I do the interviews with people and suddenly their pets just come along. I think it's the energy of the show. They just
Yeah.
come. It's beautiful. I love it.
He likes to be
So
involved in
thanks.
everything.
Thank you so much for the interview, and you keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure having you here,
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely. Thanks so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.